We would like to resume. The next program is government approaches related to asset building nation. We have State Minister of Cabinet Office for Financial Services, Mr. Ibayashi Tatsunori. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you for the introduction. As has been introduced, I'm State Minister of Cabinet Office, responsible for financial services and economic and financial policy. My name is Ibayashi, member of the House of Representatives. Thank you very much for inviting me to this forum today, FinCity Global Forum. I would like to begin by saying a few words about the Noto Peninsula earthquake, which hit Noto on New Year's Day. I would like to express my deepest condolences to those who lost their lives in this earthquake and their bereaved families, and my deepest sympathy to all the victims. The government of Japan is committed to providing full support to the victims of the earthquake and tsunami, as well as for the recovery and reconstruction of the affected areas. There are many stores, shops, ATMs that remain unfunctional. And those who are responsible for running them are themselves victims, but yet they're doing their very best to operate these shops. I would like to express my gratitude. And I would also like to thank for this opportunity to give a speech at the Global Forum. Last year, wages, stock prices, and other indicators reached their highest levels in 30 years. Once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity to excel Japan's quarter century of slow growth and deflation has arrived. To push for this, we are engaging in a number of initiatives. And today, I would like to talk about the initiative to turn Japan into an asset management-led nation or powerhouse that we announced in December last year. So what are we trying to achieve under this initiative for asset management-led nation? We're trying to realize a virtuous cycle of growth and distribution. Companies have focused on growth to increase wages and to improve the labor environment, but we want to go a step further. So that households can form assets in a stable fashion. We want more funds to flow from savings to investments, and that money should be utilized by corporations for growth, and that will benefit households so that it will lead to a greater investment and consumption. So that's the kind of cycle that we would like to realize. For that to happen, households, financial product distributors, corporations, asset managers, asset owners, I think we need to pursue initiatives that respectively target these entities. And the government considers the entire effort to target each of these entities as part of its effort for Japan to become an asset management nation. Let me introduce to you some of the key initiatives. First is initiatives for households. As you know, more than half of Japan's 2,100 trillion yen in household financial assets are in cash and cash deposits. The proportion of stocks and investment trusts is low compared to the US and the UK. As a result, if we look at the changes in household financial assets, assets over the past 20 years have grown 3.3 times in the US, 2.3 times in the UK, and household financial assets in Japan have increased only 1.5 times. As the financial and economic environment continues to change, households need to be able to undertake asset formation in a stable and secure fashion in line with their individual lifestyles. To this end, we have drastically expanded the NISA program to encourage more people to invest more tax-free over the longer term. So this new NISA program has been made available starting from January 1st this year. This program is flexible and can be used by young and old alike, depending on their individual life plans and life stages. About 1 in 5 adults is already using NISA. So our government is committed to further promoting the use of NISA. At the same time, Financial literacy is also important for the public to make informed decisions without getting caught up in financial troubles. So it is important to raise financial literacy and provide education for that. In April of this year, we will establish the Organization for the Promotion of Financial and Economic Education. It will be fully operational in August. The organization will promote financial and economic education for the entire country from a neutral standpoint. In addition, we will promote financial and economic education from a national standpoint to address the diversified and fraudulent solicitation of investments and financial crimes. These are becoming increasingly more complex and broad-ranging, so we need to address them. We will take efforts as well for distributors of financial products as well. It is of utmost importance for these distributors to promote customer-oriented business operations so that households can purchase financial products with confidence or sense of security. I would like them to be committed to selling financial products that meet each customer's life plan, lifestyle, and needs to providing after-sales support as well. This will create an environment in which customers can use financial services with confidence and peace of mind, and will also lead to creating a strong revenue base for financial institutions. And I hope this virtual cycle will be realized, and JFSA will also conduct in-depth monitoring of efforts of these distributors. Fifthly, initiatives for companies. As mentioned earlier, we want to help companies use the money they raise from investors to invest in growth and increase the value of their companies. If only foreign companies are chosen for the household's investment, it will not lead to the growth of Japanese companies and our economy. Therefore, it is important for Japanese companies to become more attractive investment targets. This will attract foreign investors' funds to Japan as well. For this reason, the government is going to encourage companies to manage their businesses with an awareness of profitability and growth potential. Well, as part of such endeavors, in March last year, TSE announced and requested listed companies in order to encourage them to manage their business with an awareness of how they're valued by the market in terms of their PB ratios or capital costs. In addition, in response to high domestic and international interest for this, a list of companies that have made disclosures has been published on the TSE website since January of this year. The government will continue to support TSE's effort to promote active dialogue between listed companies and investors and to encourage further expansion of these efforts. Fourth, TSE the fourth is asset managers who invest household funds via investment trusts, among others, and also entrusted with asset owners to invest funds from pension funds and insurers. First, we're asking large financial services group that have significant presence in Japan to clarify the position of their asset management business within the group in terms of their business strategy and formulate and publish a plan to improve management capabilities and governance around it. In response, a number of financial groups have already published their plans, and the list of their plans is posted on JFSA's website. The government's expectation is for these asset management firms, financial services groups, to take active steps to advance their asset management business. At the same time, we will work to encourage new entrants from both Japan and overseas and competition in the asset management industry. Currently, there are only a limited number of new entrants in this area in Japan. Japan's unique business practices and barriers to entry have been pointed out as problems. Through correcting these problems and promoting new entry, we hope to attract the best domestic foreign businesses to Japan, so that we can create an environment where excellent domestic and foreign businesses can gather in Japan and compete with each other to provide better products and services. The plan includes a variety of measures, two of which I would like to highlight today. The first is the creation of special zones for financial services and asset management, in which JFSA and motivated communities or local governments will work together to support reform of financial business and living environment regulations and to improve administrative services such as English language services. Currently, we're soliciting proposals and requests from local governments to our government, and we will proceed with the selection of municipalities for special zones based on these proposals and requests, and to compile finalize a special zone package by the summer of this year, which will include specific policies and measures. Next, I would like to talk about the Japanese version of EMP, Emerging Managers Promotion Program. It's been pointed out that it's difficult for emerging managers to get seed money due to their lack of track record. So we will implement measures to facilitate the supply of funds to emerging asset managers through collaboration between the public and private sectors. Specifically, we will encourage financial institutions to actively utilize emerging asset managers to ensure that they do not exclude EMs merely due to the fact that they have a short history or track record. We would also like to do the same with asset owners, not to exclude these firms solely on the grounds of their track record or history. In addition, we will work with the private sector to create a list of data on emerging asset managers and distribute it to financial institutions and asset owners. In addition, it's been pointed out that it's burdensome to establish a system or framework to fulfill registration requirements when starting a new asset management business in Japan. For this reason, regulations will be relaxed to allow firms to separate operations for them to concentrate on asset management while outsourcing middle to back office functions to a business with appropriate quality assurance. Well, there are some initiatives that require legislation, and we would like to have such bills deliberated so that these initiatives can be realized. Fifth, initiatives for asset owners. In asset owners, we will pursue the best interests of the beneficiaries. And in pursuit of best interests of beneficiaries, we need to set targets based on investment objectives and carefully select asset managers to achieve these objectives. The scope of asset owners may be broad, from public pension funds, mutual aid associations, corporate pension funds, to insurance companies and university fund managers. However, they all have a common role to play, although they may be faced with a different set of challenges. In the coming summer, we are planning to issue asset owners' principles as a common set of principles for asset managers to refer to for their asset management business, governance, and risk management. The Asset Management Nation Subcommittee has so far discussed issues mainly related to corporate pension funds, but as the principles are drawn up, we are looking to reflect in the principles the outcome of the subcommittee's discussions and issues also common to other asset owners, such as public pension funds and mutual aid associations as well. Next, I would like to discuss private pension plans, such as corporate pension plans and IDECO. Private pensions play an important role as a system that provides benefits above and beyond public pensions and are designed to help the elderly to lead a more comfortable life. On the other hand, only 30% of those insured under the welfare pension plan have private pension plans. In order for more people in Japan to secure an income that meets their needs and lead more fulfilling lives, even in old age, I believe the following are quite critical: to promote the widespread use of corporate pensions, or IDECO. In the case of corporate pension plans, from the perspective of pursuing best interests of their members, to aim for better management and administration of plans, and to further enhance the IDECO system. In addition, it's important to further enhance the IDECO system. To this end, Organization for the Promotion of Financial and Economic Education, which is scheduled to be established in April, will be a key player in promoting the spread of private pension funds, and the organization will support education for employees in these workplaces and will also develop and launch public relations activities for private pension funds on a government-wide basis. With regard to corporate pension funds, we will implement measures to urge corporate pension funds for the DB plans to regularly evaluate their asset managers and if there is a need to change the managers depending on their investment capabilities. In the midst of changes in the economy and market environment, it is very crucial for corporate pension plans to take into account these trends and make efforts to verify their expected rates of return and revise their asset allocation if necessary. In addition, it should be possible to compare the investment performance of corporate pension funds with that of other companies, and efforts to visualize that will be introduced. We will consider concrete measures, including having the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare aggregate and publish this information. For the IDECO system, in accordance with the Asset Income Doubling Plan formulated last year, we will proceed with the reform to raise the contribution limit and entry age for membership and simplify and speed up various procedures. Well, I would like to make additional comments about iDeCo. I have a lot to say about it, although perhaps I should not. At any rate, we would like to make iDeCo a more convenient, easier to use program. Next, growth capital supply of growth capital, diversification of investment targets, and dissemination of information. Let me talk about that. As an initiative related to both asset management industry and asset owners, the key to stimulating dynamism and growth of the Japanese economy is to provide growth capital to startups that increase productivity and to provide a source of growth capital to foster and nurture innovation. This is why it's so important that domestic and foreign institutional investors' capital is channeled through the venture capital industry to fund and nurture the growth of domestic startups. To enhance governance of venture capital firms and to create an environment where it will be easier for institutional investors to invest in venture capital, we will formulate principles for venture capital by referring to the practices overseas. We will also relax regulations to encourage the issuance and distribution of unlisted securities and diversify asset classes or investment destinations, including alternative investment and sustainable investment. I have already described our various measures, and we will continue to engage in dialogue with stakeholders to ensure that these measures are implemented in a manner that meets the needs of domestic and foreign businesses and investors. It's also important to communicate the attractiveness of the Japanese market. To this end, we are working with related businesses and investors in Japan and abroad to launch an asset management forum for this by the end of this year. The preparatory committee is now discussing the details. Lastly, so far I talked about various measures for Japan to become an asset management powerhouse. As I mentioned at the beginning, there are many bright signs in the Japanese economy, and although we're still in the process of compiling the data, use of new NISA is steadily increasing. In addition, even after the announcement of the realization plan by the government, for example, on the 24th, the Investment Trust Association of Japan and Japan Investment Advisors Association announced on the 24th that they would begin discussions to integrate their associations. We hope that public and private sectors will continue to work together to steadily implement various measures. And with that resolve expressed, I would like to conclude my remarks. Thank you very much.